There's something I just don't get.
What is it?
The crown contest itself has always gone ahead as planned, right? In which case, the current sovereign of Rena should be whoever it was that won the previous contest.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, who was it then?
Hanfrikt Milgras, the former lord of Cislodia, if memory serves.
So then this Hanfrikt whatchamacallem, he's the current ruler of Rena?
The last I heard, yes. Though, admittedly, I haven't actually seen him since the end of the previous contest.
You're saying that ever since becoming sovereign, he's never actually shown himself on Lenegus?
I guess over holocom maybe, but not in the flesh. Same thing goes for the sovereign that came before him.
Now that you mention it, I don't recall anyone ever visiting Lenegus from the motherland, sovereign or otherwise.
And that never struck you as a little bit odd?
When you live here, it's as if you're conditioned not to notice all these strange quirks and discrepancies. The question is then, by whom? And to what end?
A new Renis Alma is supposedly created to coincide with every crown contest, meaning each victor is awarded their very own. In other words, if that's true, there should be as many of the things out there as there have been contests.
True, but going on what we witnessed in Pelagian, it didn't look like the sort of thing that could be made to order. But if even the victor's speeches have been part of some grand deception, then where are they? Quite frankly, I'm not even sure what to believe anymore.
You and me both. Though we are Renin by blood, neither of us even knew that such a thing as a Dark Master Core existed, remember?
With any luck, the Forbidden Zone might give us some answers.
No use standing around here chatting about it then. Let's get a move on.
Doe?
Faria.
Varia? Isn't that the person that Avakir guy was...
But why are you here? Wait, don't tell me you've given up on the crown contest and come crawling back home from Dane already. Nothing to say? Even though you were willing to kill Tarnigan to secure your position as Lord, you still...
Kill?
I'm here to take care of something. If you wish to continue this conversation, I only ask that you wait until I'm finished.
Oh, of course. You always did prefer to take the coward's way out. Even after 7 years and living on that Dane rock, you haven't changed one bit. But let me tell you, I haven't changed either. Not a day's gone by the past 7 years that I haven't hated you.
If killing me will bring you peace, then so be it.
Dohalim, what the hell are you saying?
First, I have business to take care of. If it's vengeance you seek, I will grant you it. But you must wait. My sins are legion. Let me finish what I came to do. Then you have my word. I will let you do whatever brings you peace.
Sure, that's it. Run away like always. You don't even have the courage to die. No wonder you leave it to someone else. You're just a coward!
Dohalim.
I apologize that you had to witness that.
Is it true? What she said about you killing someone?
Each of us have our pasts. I am no exception.
Before, back in Menancia, you mentioned having taken a friend's life over the throne. Is that what she meant?
The mistakes I made there were not my first, and may not be my last. I will say no more.
Did you mean what you said? About letting her take your life if she wanted to?
She has more right to my life than anyone.
But you can't just...
Whatever happens, I have sworn to put an end to the crown contest and to ensure continued coexistence in Menancia. I have no intention of expiring before I do so. There are far too many questions I still seek answers to. Besides, you have just as much reason to kill me as she does.
Dohalim!
Forgive me. Some things are best left unsaid.
Wow, this place is beautiful!
Yeah, it must be some sort of rest and leisure area for the locals.
You think? Man, these Renin sure know how to live it up, don't they?
Is something the matter, Dohalim?
Before I went down to Dane, my friends and I, we used to gather at this very spot and play music together. Avakir, Faria, and Tarnagan. That was a lifetime ago now.
Tarnagan. He was the one that Faria mentioned, right?
He was once my dearest, closest friend. As well as Faria's betrothed. Despite Faria's lower-class upbringing, she possesses a tremendous talent for music. Entranced by her playing, I helped her overcome her sense of inferiority and introduced her to Tarnagan and Avakir. It was a time of great joy. 4 people bound only by their love of music, with no care for social standing. Only the next song, the next melody.
A friendship based on mutual respect, and a society where everyone is a prisoner to their social class. You really are different, Dohalim.
I suppose it's natural you would see it as strange.
I would have, once. Now, I think the idea of breaking away from society's constraints and choosing your friends based solely on affection is something beautiful that's worth cherishing. Besides, it was that way of looking at the world that laid the foundations for coexistence in Menancia.
Your praise does me too great an honor. I was merely following the wishes of my own heart. And even then, it only lasted until the crown contest began. After that, Tarnagan and I became fierce competitors for the position of Lord. Tarnagan had fallen for Faria. By becoming Lord, he aimed to wrest her from her humble origins and raise her to the highest echelons of society. But fate was not so benevolent.
What happened?
Tarnagan was no match for me in combat. On a level playing field, he wouldn't have stood a chance. But he was desperate and low on options, and he couldn't stand the thought of defeat.
You mean he resorted to dirty tactics to try to win, right? But then why does Faria think... Wait. Don't tell me she doesn't know.
How could I tell her? Combined with the trauma of losing her beloved, and by her friend's hand, no less, she would have been devastated.
So instead you let her go on hating you, so she could use that hate as a crutch for her grief?
That's not the same as running away, though.
It is exactly the same. Unable to face the loss of my friend and the burden of my duty, instead I decried my fate and looked away from what I'd done. As for what happened after, that you already know.
But if you hadn't become Lord, Menancia wouldn't be what it is now. The Danans there would still be suffering under Renan oppression like before.
Shion's right. What other lord would have treated me as you did? Anyone else and I would have been dead long ago. You've saved so many people, Dohalim. You saved me. It's thanks to you that I'm here today. So, try not to blame yourself. The burden you've placed on your own shoulders is too much for anyone to bear.
Frank as always. But I shall do my best to heed your advice.
Do you think he'll be all right?
Yeah, I think so. He's got Kisara.
It's important to have someone like that.
I didn't realize how difficult it is just to be there for someone.
Sometimes just knowing someone's on your side can be enough. And he knows, Shion. I promise he does.
I hope you're right. Alphen.
Yeah?
I never appreciated until recently just how much you were always there to support me.
It goes both ways. You've helped me keep going more times than I can count.
Maybe. But I still wanted to say thank you.
I see a medic and supply officer over there. If they know you're with me, they'll likely offer their assistance.
Damn it. Lenegis soldiers.
Any way we can avoid fighting them?
That all depends on them. Whatever happens, be ready.
Well, so much for them not wanting to fight.
I am Lord Dohalim of Elden Menancia. I command you.
The rest of the city must be erased.
No. Have they been brainwashed too?
Brainwashed or not, if they want to fight, they got one.
In a bind?
Double demon fang!
Thank you.
Be my guest! Mow him down!
Flame of Fury!
Smash you! Double demon fang!
Sleep well. We'll soon see about that.
We're not finished!
Hear my call.
Totally! In an instant! Impact block!
Those soldiers seem different from the citizens we've come across so far.
Yeah, they weren't big talkers, that's for sure. They just attacked without warning.
They weren't in the least bit fazed by Dohalim's presence either.
Indeed. They seem to recognize us as enemies, nothing more. And yet, traditionally, Lenegis hasn't been high on threats. A few frenzied Zeugles during experiments here and there, but not much else.
Their glazed-over eyes reminded me of the soldiers and slaves we met back in Ganath Harros. The ones in blind devotion to Volron.
I've never seen anything like that here on Lenegis before.
Maybe someone doesn't want us here, and the soldiers are their way of letting us know.
What with the Red Woman, the Sovereign, and Volron, we're starting to develop quite the growing list of adversaries. At least we'll know to keep our wits about us.
Retreat if you know what's good for you.
Freezing storm! Tornado! Illuminate the dark! Come forth, holy glimmer! These ones can put rings around us! Power of water! Divine savior! Air thrust! Mega ray! Do it! I'm on a roll!
Double demon fang!
Cyan instant! Hope this
Too
works!
fast!
Then stand back. I'll trip it up.
Infernal torrent! Swallow blade!
On your...
Here's a healing art! First aid!
Double
No
demon
shall
fang!
escape my judgment! Searing tempest!
Begin.
And that's my will!
Double demon fang!
Begin.
Flare tornado! Illuminate the dark! Come forth, holy glimmer, holy lamp!
Elusive deity.
Between heaven and earth! Lunar corruption! Willing lunar blast! Divine savior!
Do it!
I'm on a roll! Astral energy!
Say no more!
I know fine weapon material when I see it.
An opponent like this should be easy.
Cyan
Not today! Double demon fang!
Can't get out of this!
Time to cross blades!
in your dreams! I never miss!
That's time to make
Permanent
shot!
render!
Crescent slash!
Double demon fang!
Power of water!
Swallow blade!
Elusive deity!
Infernal
A charge like that could easily be fatal.
Just as well, I'm here to stop. Awaiting the corruption! Denied!
The flame inside me yearns to be let free! Ignite!
Into the shadows!
Double demon fang!
More air pressure!
Plasma shock!
Elusive deity!
Confiscated! I'll heal you all! Raging storm!
Double demon fang!
I'm grateful.
Double demon fang!
Astral energy! 7 on
Plasma
the
shock!
Heal now! I'm ready!
Seismic rupture!
More where that came from! Mega ray!
Double demon fang!
Annihilation!
Take this!
Illuminate the dark!
Resonate with the
Ignite!
earth!
Holy land!
Still up!
Between heaven and earth! Here goes!
Plasma shock!
Not on my watch! Lightning
Come
attack!
on!
Thunderbolt! Freezing
Power
storm!
being interrupted!
Double demon fang!
Tornado!
Dance on the
Double
wing!
demon fang!
Flame of
Try
fury!
harder!
Burning strike! Water!
Seismic rupture!
Far enough!
Swallow blade! Try this! Infernal torrent! Plasma shock!
Do it! Astral energy! Full throttle!
This should make for some good weapon crafting material.
Let's see what you've got.
Bring him down! I'll smash you! My shield!
I'll face you!
Incineration wave!
That makes me the thorn in my
Here's a healing
Incineration
A
wave!
new melody!
Double demon fang!
Mega ray!
Try this!
More
Infernal torrent! Double demon fang!
healing
Incineration wave!
by the power of I never miss! This is it!
Double demon fang!
Let me help! Fire support! Raging
Leave the ensnaring to me.
Incineration report!
Will this help?
Mission! Double demon!
Healing circle!
Looks like we got them all.
Out of our way!
Double demon fang!
Illuminate the
Now
dark!
you'll learn! Incineration
Holy
wave!
quiver! Mega holy land!
Can't get out of
Chain between heaven and earth. They really don't give up, do they?
You got your ability!
More for the stockpile.
Double demon fang!
Pierce the chain between heaven and earth.
Incineration wave!
A wailing banshee of lightning.
Swallow blade! Plasma shock!
Do it!
Allow me to help you. Let's refrain from losing.
Those soldiers don't seem to have any qualms about attacking on sight.
Is someone making them stand guard over the Forbidden Zone?
Gotta break
I'll
through!
heal you all.
Burn in hell!
Rise and
Swallow
red.
blade!
Thanks so much. That'll bring you down. Confiscated.
As if the normal creepy crawlies aren't disgusting enough.
This world.
Incineration wave!
Power of water. Light astrology.
Double demon
Holy
fang!
one.
I can carve through walls and make with the earth!
I'll stop its charge.
Thanks, Kisara.
On your back!
Double demon fang! Incineration wave!
By the power of flame.
Denied.
Denied. Trace. More for the stockpile.
Show thy mystic
A
mercy!
chain between heaven and earth.
Double
Explosion.
demon fang!
Wailing banshee of
It's
lightning.
on!
Searing flame. Reload.
Burn in
I'll
hell!
heal you all. This one.
Double demon fang!
May a thousand gales healing circle.
Double demon fang!
Ready. Mega ray. Gemini.
On your
Fake with darkness.
Double demon fang!
Lightning. Searing tempest. Raging cascade. Flare tornado. I'll be saving you.
turn you into dust!
Incineration wave!
That'll bring you down.
Benediction.
Raging cascade. A freezing
This
storm.
one's all mine!
Magic
Double demon fang!
Hear my call. Blood.
Double demon fang!
Arch steel. Mega ray. Magic is
Try harder!
Divine savior. Let me help.
Double demon fang!
First aid.
Shield!
This ends now.
Consider yourself finished! We won. Gotta break through!
Here I go.
Ignite!
One more. Mega ray. Lightning raging
Double
cascade.
demon fang!
Can't your reflexes will not serve you well here.
More for the stop.
Double demon fang!
Elusive deity! I'll face you!
Plasma shock!
On take this!
I'll be
All
saving
will
this one.
save you!
Take this! Yours to be let free! Double demon fang!
Between heaven and earth.
Burn!
A wailing banshee of
Swallow blade!
lightning.
Try this! Inferno turret!
Divine, this one's mine. Blah, blah, blah.
Double demon fang!
A new melody!
Healing circle.
Double
Shield.
demon fang!
May a thousand gales carry not on my watch.
The flame inside me!
I'm ready!
To be let free!
This one's got your name on it.
Ashes to ashes! Resonate with the earth!
Double demon fang!
Annihilation.
Incineration wave!
We can really make weapons with this?
I'm the true gunslinger around here.
Try harder! Ignite! No further!
Here's a healing
Fire support!
First aid! Raging storm!
Demon Fang! Locked and loaded! I can carve through armor!
Here's a healing arc!
Double Demon Fang!
Fortifying arch shield!
Our arts are being interrupted.
That'll bring you down!
Double This one's all mine!
Glacial spear! Pierce evil!
Demon
Raging
Fang!
cascade! Freeze blast on my one!
Double Demon Fang!
Illuminate the darkness!
Far enough!
Holy wind! Obtained between heaven and earth! A wailing damn magic is there! Here!
Everlasting
I'll
Negative gate! Resonate with the earth! Stalagmite!
Vanquish darkness!
Double Demon Fang!
Now or never.
Double Demon!
Divine streak! Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood.
Get lost!
Resonate with the earth!
Everyone else! Burn it down!
Radiant cascade!
Can't get out of
Wall
this!
Blade!
Think that shield will save you?
My shield! Double Demon Fang!
Lightning!
Incineration Wave! Double Demon Fang!
Glacial spear!
An astral art?
That's my cue!
Shut him down!
Raging Luna Sword!
Ready to go!
Denied!
This one's all mine! Not today!
Locked and loaded!
Raging
Double
storm!
Demon Fang!
Lunar corruption!
Resonate with the earth! Stalagmite! Now you see what I can do!
Double Demon Fang!
Can't get out of this!
Double Demon Fang! Incineration Wave!
Now! Dohalim! This one's got your name on it!
Ashes to ashes!
I
Bestow
legally
thy
start
mystic
Double
mercy!
Demon Fang! You're mine!
Very circle!
confiscated!
Our arts are being
Demon
interrupted!
Fang!
Raging Luna
Last
Sword!
Blade!
Locked and loaded! Elusive deity!
Here's the flame of I never miss!
I'm ready!
Leave the chargers to me!
Lightning!
Elusive
Vanish without a trace!
That took more energy than I expected.
This must be it. The entrance to the Forbidden Zone.
But it's just a wall. How do we get through?
Whoa, we? I thought this was sovereigns only.
Alphen.
Yes! It opened!
Interesting. If Alphen's presence still opens the way, it would seem the Sovereign of 3 centuries ago and now are considered one and the same.
What?
What the?
Alphen.
You again.
Tomorrow's the spirit channeling ceremony. We'll finally play our parts.
as the Sovereign and Maiden. How have you been feeling?
What am I sovereign of? Shuffled from lab to lab, always treated like an experiment. Whenever they look at me, all they see is a Danon. I don't even know what their precious ceremony's for, let alone what they're going to force me to do as the Sovereign. Tell me, if we're both in the same boat, why do you seem so calm right now?
No choice. Becoming the Maiden's not something I wanted for myself. But they said Rena's prosperity depended on it. How could I say no after that?
Still, as a Renan, at least you got to decide. Good for you. Meanwhile, I was taken from my homeland. You aren't the captive one here.
It isn't right what they did to you, and I'm sorry for what it's worth. When this is over, I swear I'll help you get home. I can't do this alone. One more day.
How could I say no to that? It's not like I have any choice in the matter anyway. So, what's your name?
It's Naori. Naori Imaris. Try to remember this time.
You don't act like them. Like the other Renans, I mean. How come you treat me like a person?
Because you are. It's true we come from different worlds. But neither one of us asked to be here right now. In that sense, you and I are much the same. We couldn't do this. We wouldn't be able to talk to each other as people if we didn't see the humanity in each other. So I suppose the question you should be asking is, why wouldn't I treat you like one?
You're not like the others.
Maybe they're not like me.
Here's what we'll do. We give them their damn ceremony. You get me to Dana. That'll be the end of it. I'm taking you at your word on this. I'm trusting you, not them. Naori.
What the hell just happened?
That vision. Did everyone else see it too?
That person Alphen was speaking to, she looked exactly like Shion.
It was Naori. Naori Imaris. Isn't that right?
Yeah, that's right.
She really does look like Shion. I'm beginning to see why Alphen was so confused.
That's all very well and fine, but what did we just witness exactly? It was too real to be a mere hallucination.
It was a conversation we had 300 years ago. The night before the ceremony.
You mean all of that really happened? We just saw an episode straight out of your past?
But how is that even possible? Unless... Could this be the Red Woman's handiwork too?
No, I don't think so.
Why not?
You guys didn't feel it? The moment the entrance opened, it was like a stream of Danon astral energy rushing over us.
I felt it too. And not for the first time either. It was the same sensation as back inside the wedge.
That would make sense. After all, vast amounts of Dana's astral energy were being siphoned and sent up here to Lenegus. For all we know, perhaps we're close to the spot where all that energy was stored.
So you think it might have been the energy itself that was responsible for that vision we just saw? But how? And why?
We have no way of knowing. Maybe it's not even as deliberate as all that.
Shion, you okay?
Yeah. It was all just a little sudden. That's all. So that was my ancestor, huh? It was like looking into a mirror.
Yeah, there certainly is a resemblance.
What about you? How are you holding up?
Me?
Even putting aside the question of where that vision came from, it's likely we'll see more of those. Reliving painful episodes from your past. Do you think you can handle it?
I can't just pretend like the past never happened. Besides, if it helps us uncover the truth of what that ceremony really was, it might also lead to answers about your thorns.
Alphen.
That's not all. This whole time, we've been fighting to free Dana from the Renans. But now that we're here, it seems those same Renans might have it just as bad. I'd like to liberate them too if I can, which is just another reason I can't afford to shield my eyes from the truth.
Whether you're on Dana or somewhere else, you always stay the same. Your indignation and righteous passion, your desire to free and protect, they're all hardwired into you. Not that I'm complaining. Come on, let's bust this thing wide open.
Nobody's here.
Stay sharp. After that last illusion, there's no telling what could happen in here.
Tell me, Dohalim, has that skill of yours got a name?
And what skill would this be, pray tell?
You know, when you're talking to people around town, the way they suddenly become putty in your hands.
I'm afraid I don't quite follow.
I do. It's called friendly intimidation. Look imposing and speak in a deep, booming voice, and presto, you'll have people wrapped around your finger in no time.
I would never stoop to such scandalous tricks. Any feelings of intimidation are solely in the eye of the beholder.
So there is a knack to it! How do you learn it? Can anyone do it?
Now you've got me curious. Is there special training to master?
Let's see. An obsession with being elegant is a must. Oh, and it helps to be old-fashioned, too. Bonus points if you speak in a way no one can understand.
If you've a bone to pick with me, it'd be quicker to just come out and say it.
What? They look up to you, that's all. I'm just helping them along.
Hey! What's got into Alvin and Law all of a sudden?
I can barely understand a word they're saying. And what's with the weird poses? Was it something they ate?
I hope you're willing to take the blame for this one.
I wasn't expecting them to take me so seriously. I'll go and have a word with them.
Dohalim's fighting style is... what's the word I'm looking for? Subdued? No...
Do you mean elegant, perhaps?
Yeah, that's the word. For better or worse, you can definitely tell he's cut from posh Renan cloth.
And he's not just skilled with the staff either. He can also use astral arts, including healing ones. I can see how he made it to the position of a lord.
You flatter me. But my fighting techniques merely come from a style that aims to conserve energy by minimizing body movement.
Is that why you wait until the last second before you dodge attacks? To avoid unnecessary movements?
No, I do that to sharpen my senses. I find that doing so is an effective means of drawing out my innermost strength.
Oh yeah, I've noticed you look stronger and strike out with your rod more after you dodge attacks. Guess that's why.
Still, it's a risk. Don't you ever worry you'll dodge at the wrong moment?
Then, it'll be just as well.
Huh?
It's nothing. Let us continue.